Good stuff. So, good evening. Yet again, we're back for more online yoga sessions with me, Karina. So thank you for joining me. Today's class is going to be focused on the hips and building mobility in the hips. So mobility is the combination of strength and flexibility. So you have to have both in kind of equal balance, really, to have healthy hips, healthy hip joints. Most people come to yoga with one or the other. So you're either quite strong in the hips and lack flexibility, or you are quite flexible in the hips and you lack strength. So what we're going to be focusing on today is building the strength, but also increasing our range of motion through the hip joints. So hopefully you'll have much healthier hips. And again, this video is going to be available to watch after the case as well. So if you want to come back to it, you can always do that, and it'll be great. It's going to be working on the prime movers of the hips, the glutes, the hip flexors, the adductors, abductors, and then also opening all those areas as well. So we get a nice, nice healthy hips. And if you've been to my hip mobility workshop, it's a 2-hour workshop that I've done several times now, and I call it hip mobility workshop rather than flexibility. Everyone's focused on flexibility, and I think it's important to get over to people that actually flexibility isn't all that. It's getting that balance right between strength and flexibility is key to keeping your hips nice and healthy. So as always, as we go through this, just do what you can without any kind of expectations for the practice this evening. Rest if you need to rest. You can always drop into child's pose if it all gets a little bit too much. It's going to be available to most people, even beginners. This will be completely suitable for. As with everything, you just do your best. If you fall out of balance, you fall out. No worries. If you find that some of the movements, you can hardly move your body in them, because maybe you lack the strength or maybe you lack the flexibility. Again, you just acknowledge that, and it's all good. And you'll see over time that it all becomes a lot easier. It all becomes a lot more smoother, and your practice becomes a little bit more graceful. But always listen to your body. If any of the postures don't feel good in the knees, when you're working on the hips, sometimes the knees can get a little bit of a bashing because we use legs as levers, and if you're using a leg as a lever, then the knees can become quite vulnerable. So always be mindful of your knees. If you feel any pain around the knees, outside, and especially on the inside of the knees, if you feel any pain, just pull back on the posture. Nothing is worth your knee health. No opening in the hips is worth injuring your knees, which I have done. I've injured both of my knees, and if you've been to my classes, I talk about that. Don't do what I did in a rush to get to lotus early on in my practice. I pushed and injured both of my knees. So don't do that. Please be patient, and it will get a lot easier, and the body will open in its own time. I think that's pretty much it. We'll begin. We'll come to a lying down position to start this evening. And we're going to start in one of my favourite postures is Supta Baddha Konasana, so reclined cobbler's posture. So we're bringing the soles of the feet together, allowing the knees to fall out to the side. If you have blocks or cushions or bolsters, you might want to place them underneath the knees just to provide a little bit of support. This can be quite an intense posture, especially if you're tight in your adductors. In the groins, so if they feel like steel cables on the inside of your legs, and you may need something underneath the knees. And then we'll just make our way down onto our backs. And as always, if it just gets a little bit too uncomfortable in this posture, just bring the knees up. It doesn't matter. So let's just bring the shoulder blades under the back. Bring the hands onto the abdomen. Just a little tuck to the chin so the back of the neck is nice and long. And let's just get settled in as we prepare for a wonderful practice this evening. And just closing the eyes if you haven't yet done so. Just allowing yourself to be present on your mat. And just acknowledging how you feel right now. And just taking a moment to notice how the mind is. Whether busy or whether quite relaxed as we come to the mat. Can you allow the forehead to melt? Can you soften behind the eyes? Soften the cheeks and the jaw. And just allow the tongue to fall away from the roof of the mouth. Allowing your body to be heavy and just trying to let go in those hips. And bringing your awareness to your breath without changing how you're breathing right now. Just notice the belly as it rises and falls. And let's start to deepen our breath now. Inhaling into the abdomen, allowing the abdomen to rise, fill like a balloon. And as you exhale, just allowing that belly to fall. And drawing that breath up the body into the chest. Feel the ribs expand. And then all the way up into the shoulders. Inhale, abdomen, chest, shoulders. Exhale, shoulders fall, chest falls, abdomen falls. Just noticing any sensations in the body as you take control of the breath. Maybe you could feel a flood of oxygen as we start to draw more air in. And let's just take the arms above the head. It's nice and relaxed. A little bend to the elbows. And keeping that breath going. And maybe you want to start to activate your bandhas now. Drawing the navel back towards the spine. And feeling a lift from the pelvic floor. Remember, your bandha engagement should be effortless. So it's not like we're trying to squeeze or hold on. It should be effortless, just a vacuum that we're trying to create in that lower abdomen. And slowly, slowly, you can bring the hands to the outside of the legs now if you wish, as we draw those knees back together. I know sometimes it can be a little bit tough bringing those knees back together. Keeping the knees together now, we're just going to heel toe those feet out towards the outer edges of the mat. Now, depending on how open you are in the hips, you may go wider than the mat here. We'll keep those knees together. And this is just going to work on internal rotation. So Baddha Konasana works on external rotation and the abduction of the hips. Now we're working on internal rotation. And again, you can keep the arms above the head if you wish. Or bring them back to your abdomen, or just rest them by your side if that feels good, whatever feels comfortable for you right now. And again, just noticing how you feel in your hips. Maybe they feel quite tight. Maybe one side is pulling a little bit more than the other. So for me, it's definitely my right side right now. I can feel it more. Again, just using our yoga practice just to notice, just to witness, to become aware of where we may need to work outside of our practice. Or I say, use your practice as your meditation. Use it as a beacon to show where you need to work in your body, rather than trying to do most of the work through the practice. Try to find that relaxation, that meditation. And we'll slowly heel toe those feet back in. Just the hips width apart. And let's bring the ankles underneath the knees, hands by the hips for some bridge. So as we inhale, we're just going to tuck tailbone and lift the hips up slightly. And exhale, lowering back down. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, lowering. Maybe using that ujjayi breath, making sound. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. 2 more. Inhale, lift. See if you can squeeze those glutes at the top. Exhale, lower. Again, glute strength, very important in hip health. Inhale, lifting, and we'll hold at the top, just squeeze. Nothing too crazy here. We're still at the start of the practice. And just feeling those glutes start to activate, feeling a little stretch with the front of those hips. And exhale as we lower back down. Let's straighten the right leg towards the ceiling. And first check that we're really connecting the sacrum, the lower back to the mat. And we'll just interlace the fingers behind the back of the thigh here, or the back of the calf. Whatever feels good for you. And let's make some rotations with that right ankle. Rotating one way, and try to find, again, that full range of motion through the ankle, nice and slowly. And taking the rotations the opposite way now. Flexing that ankle, so the toes pulling back towards the body. Let's try to get some strength through this right leg. And a little bit of encouragement from the hands. Just relax the arms. Okay, maybe we can be here. This is fine. Inhale and exhale. Bend that right knee. Drop the right ankle just above the left knee. For our reclined pigeon. So just allow that knee to fall out to the side. If this is enough in your hips, you can stay here. Otherwise, we're lifting that left foot up, interlacing the fingers behind the back of the thigh or in front of that left shin. But again, just be mindful that we're not lifting the bum up here. Keep drawing that tailbone towards the mat. Working through that right hip. Option to rock from side to side here if that feels good. And releasing that left foot back onto the mat. We're going to keep that right ankle above that left knee. Again, just check that the ankle is underneath the knee or a little bit further in front of that knee. Take the hands by the side. Again, just check those shoulder blades are under the back. And we're going to lift up. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift. If it's too much in the knee again, don't lift up. Just stay in that figure of four position. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Two more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And we're holding this last one. Inhale, lift. Engage that left glute. Allow that right knee to fall out to the side. Really feeling that opening through that right hip. Holding two more breaths. One more breath. And as you exhale, lowering it back down. Let's hug the knees into the chest. Maybe a little rock from side to side, just releasing the lower back. And we'll drop the feet back onto the mat now. And let's straighten the left leg towards the ceiling. And again, interlace the fingers behind the back of the thigh or the calf, whatever feels good. And again, remember, don't pull so hard. We're still at the start of the practice. We don't want to do anything too crazy here. And let's start making those rotations with the ankle. And again, if there's any pops or clicks, remember it's all good as long as there's no pain. And making those rotations the opposite way. Again, nice and slow. Really find that full range through your ankle. And then flexing the foot. So toes pull back towards the shin, towards the face, and find strength now. Press that heel towards the ceiling. And again, just a little bit more of encouragement, of persuasion onto the back of that left leg. Just relax the arms, relax the shoulders. And just breathe into that tension. You can be using a strap here as well if you are really, really tight in the hamstrings. I probably should have said this on the first side, on the right side. But if you're a bit tight, you can use a strap here. If your leg's back here, this is all good. Inhaling. And exhale, bend that left knee, drop that left ankle now just above the right knee. And again, maybe you're staying here. Maybe this is enough for you in that hip. Otherwise, you're lifting that right foot up, interlacing the fingers behind the back of that right thigh or in front of that right shin. And again, just being mindful in all of these postures that we're pulling the sacrum, the bone a bit in to the mat, not lifting that bum up. And again, maybe you're finding some movement, maybe you're just rocking side to side here. And keep that left ankle flexed. So this is what I was saying earlier on about supporting the knees when we're doing any kind of hip opening. By flexing the ankle, we provide a little bit of protection there. It starts to engage the leg a little bit more. It's quite a vulnerable position for the knees, especially if you're tight in the hips. And releasing that right leg, or the right foot, back down onto the mat. And again, just allowing the knee to fall out to the side. And again, if you tried the little pigeon bridge on the other side, it didn't feel so good. Maybe you just want to stay here. This is fine. Otherwise, hands come to the mat. And as we inhale, let's pick the hips up. Again, nothing too crazy. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower. 3 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Make sure you're squeezing that right glute at the top. Exhale, lower. And the last one. Inhale, lift and hold. Allow that left knee to fall out to the side as much as is comfortable for you. We'll hold for 3. Keep squeezing that right glute. For 2. 1, and exhale, lowering back down. Release the left foot from the leg. Let's hook the knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And we'll start to rock forwards and backwards. And rocking up to seated. Let's swing the legs around. And we'll come into a tabletop position. So as always in our tabletop, I can't stop myself from saying this every time I go into tabletop with you guys, but fingers are spread and we're pressing the palms into the mat. So make sure you're really pressing through the index, the thumb side of the hand. Always protect your wrists. Make sure you've got a good connection between your hands and mat. We're wrapping the triceps under. There's a little tuck to the tailbone. And we're engaging our bandhas, so the navel is in, back towards the spine. Let's straighten that right leg back. Should have mentioned the knees are underneath the hips. These hips width apart. Then we're straightening that right leg back. Let's just press back through that right heel. Let's just start to wake up the leg. So maybe you could feel this, the glute, the calf, the quad, the hamstrings, all working here. And pick that right leg up, but just check that you don't start to dip into the lower back. Really important. Keep the strength through the core. And try to keep equal weight in the hands here. Bending that right knee. So keeping that right ankle flexed, so the probably about a right angle in the back of that right knee. And we'll take some donkey kicks. So again, just checking that we don't start to dip into the back. Keep that navel in and just kick up. Kick. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale there. Exhale, we're going to open that right hip up. If you can't see me, we're coming around here. Inhale, taking it back to that little donkey. And exhale, let's round the spine, bring the knee in. Maybe pointing the toe as you bring it in. Inhale, find that donkey. Exhale, sweeping it around. Inhale, taking it back. And exhale, round the spine, bring it in. Let's try 3 more. Inhale. Exhale, take it around, really finding that motion, really find that wide angle through that hip. Inhale, taking it back. And exhale, bringing that knee back in. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, really wide. See if you can touch the elbow with the knee. Inhale, taking it back. And exhale, bringing it in. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, taking it around. Inhale, bringing it back. And exhale, pulling it in. And inhale, we'll bring that right knee back to the mat. Let's sit back. Let's find child's pose. And see if you can take the knees a little bit wider here for your child's pose. So knees as wide as the mat, toes touching. And just reaching those hands forward. And let's come back to that tabletop position. So again, just checking that tabletop and checking that your core is strong, the navel is in, bandhas are on. And let's send that left foot back. Tucking toes under and pressing back through that left heel. Really want to feel everything working in this left leg. Find that strength. Press the heels of the hands down. Press the thumbs, the fingers into the mat. And inhale, lift that leg up. Again, just checking that you don't start to dip into that lower back. Bending that left knee for those donkey kicks again. Lifting up. Again, just pulsing. Just feeling the glute start to work. Again, without dipping into that lower back. One more. And we're going to take those, that flow now. So taking it, inhale to take it out. So exhale to take it to the elbow. Inhale to take it back into that donkey. And exhale, round in the spine, pull it in. Inhale, find that donkey again. Exhale, bring it round. Open the hip as much as you can. Inhale, take it back. Exhale, round the spine, pull it in. 3 more. Inhale to donkey. Exhale, wide as you bring it round. Inhale, taking it back. Exhale, pulling it in. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, take it wide. Touch the elbow if you can with the knee. Inhale, take it back. Exhale, round. Inhale, last one. Exhale, bring it wide. Inhale, move it back. Exhale, bring it in. And inhale, set the knee down. We'll bring those big toes to touch. Send the knees wide. And sit back and rest in child's pose. And remember, your child's pose is always a posture you can come to at any time. And let's lift the gaze. Draw the knees back underneath the hips. Tuck the toes under. Send the hips back and up. Finding our first downward facing dog. I'm just taking a moment to notice how you feel. Maybe you wish to pedal the legs a little bit more. Maybe you want to move your hips side to side. Just get a little stretch to the side body here. Just feet, hips width apart in your downward dog. Let's look between the hands and walk the feet towards the hands. Let's keep the feet, hips width apart. Inhale, find length through your spine. Exhale, subtle knee bend as we come into a forward fold. Option to just hang out here. Bend the knees as much as you need to, especially if you're tight in the backs of the legs, so we don't stress the lower back here. And let's ground down through the feet. Inhale as we rise all the way up. Let's take the arms high. And exhale, palms together, hands come towards the heart. Let's close the eyes here for a moment. And maybe setting an intention for your practice with me this evening, or this morning, or this afternoon, or whenever you're watching this class. If you can't think of an intention, I offer you patience, the word patience. And gently opening the eyes, lift the gaze. Inhale, raising your arms. Exhale, forward fold. The feet should still be hips width apart here. Inhale, halfway. Find extension through your spine. And exhale, plant the hands. We'll send the feet back, finding a high plank. Inhale there. And exhale, lowering down, dropping to the knees first, or coming through Chaturanga Dandasana, all the way down to the mat. Pointing your toes. Inhale, cobra, draw the shoulder blades down the back, draw the elbows towards each other. And exhale, lowering down, tuck the toes under, send the hips back and up. Find your downward dog. And breathe. Navel to the spine. Your gaze between the knees or to your navel. We'll stay here 2 more breaths. Remember, you can always bend the knees in your downward dog if you are really tying the back of those legs. And let's look between the hands. Inhale, walk in or jumping feet to hands. Again, let's keep those feet hips width apart. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Ground down through the feet. Inhale as you make our way up. Reaching, palms touch. And exhale, let's dive forward again. Inhale, halfway lift. Extend through your spine, half forward. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, find your high plank. Again, round the upper back, tuck the tailbone. Inhale there. Exhale, lower down, drop to the knees first, or you're coming through Chaturanga Dandasana, elbows in towards the ribs. Inhale, cobra, or upward facing dog, if it's in your practice now. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's stay in a few more breaths here. Again, just your chance to connect to your inner space. Wrap those triceps under. Press through those hands. Looking between your hands. Inhale, walk or jump feet towards the hands. Again, feet hips width apart. Inhale, find length. Exhale, flex spine, forward fold. Inhale to come all the way up. And exhale, hands heart center. Let's heel toe those feet a little bit wider now. So we want the toes out slightly and heels in slightly, and feet more towards the outside of the mat. Inhale, take the arms high. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, coming back up. Send the hips forward, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, coming up. Try to keep the integrity of the upper back, so try not to round. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, coming up, just go down as far as feels comfortable with you. Exhale, lower. Inhale, move up, hips forward, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. Inhale. Hips forward. Exhale. Hips back and down. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Hands come to the heart as we lower this time, coming in to Malasana, our yogi squat. Again, if you struggle to get into your Malasana, see if your heels are lifted. See if you can move your feet a little bit wider apart. Maybe the heels come down. If they don't come down, maybe we're here. Maybe this is our squat. And this is fine. You're just working into those hips. Or we can use a block. We can sit on a block. That might be a little bit easier for us. There's a lot going on in a squat. So again, just find where it feels good for you. If we're going well, we can bring hands to heart center. We can provide a little bit of pressure on the inside of those knees. And if you've been in my classes, I say how our ancestors would look at us in shame that we can't even squat anymore these days. This used to be a resting posture. We've been all out all day running, maybe hunting, walking, looking for berries and fruit. We'd come and we'd sit and we'd rest. We'd play with children. We'd cook. We'd do lots of things in a squat. We'd go toilet in a squat. And a lot of us can't get into a squat these days. I really, I say it all the time, but please work on your squat. There's one thing for hip health it's good to work on. It's the squat. Let's add some movement to our squat. So maybe rocking from outside, inside of one foot, coming back through center on the inhale, and exhale over to the other side. Okay, just notice how the hips feel. Just dropping the knee in. Again, maybe you're starting to feel it through the front of the legs as well. And coming back to center. So swing around. We're going to plant the hands and step the left foot back. So that right foot is still out towards the outside of the mat here. The heel slightly in, the toes pointing out slightly. So we're coming into a little bit of a lizard. Dropping those hips nice and low. And squeezing through that left glute. Squeezing through that leg. And maybe you can feel it on the inside, on the front, sorry, of that left leg. Maybe you're feeling it more into that right hip. For me, I'm way more tighter on the front of my hips here. So this side is feeling a lot more tough for me. I think I'll go quite deep into my hip on the right. And if you can go deep, maybe you want to drop to your elbows. That feels good. Keep pressing back through that left foot. Keep this leg nice and strong. If it's too much, drop the knee. We can be here. This is all good. And keep sending the heart forward. And if you're going well, maybe you're going to drop that right foot to that razor edge of that foot. So onto the outside of that right foot, just to open that hip a little bit more. Working those hips, keep working them nice and low. And stay nice and strong through this left leg. Maybe it's starting to really test you now. Stay with it if you can. An option to drop that knee at any time. And let's come back onto the hands. Let's heel toe this right foot back in. So foot, toes and heel are now aligned. Still nice and strong through that back leg. And let's just lift up slightly. So we're still leaning forward into that right leg. This is building strength through the legs. At the same time, we're still working into those hips. You can keep hands on hips if this is all good. Or take the arms forward. Keep breathing here. We'll stay for 3. For 2. Squeeze that left glute. And 1. Plant the hands either side of that right foot. Let's step the right foot back to meet the left and find downward facing dog. And walk those feet out if that feels good now. Okay, maybe move those hips. Do whatever feels nice in your body. And look in between the hands. Inhale, walking or jumping feet to hands. Extend through your spine. And exhale, fold. Inhale to come all the way up. Palms touch. And exhale, hands heart center. Again, we're going to heel toe those feet out. Again, heels in slightly, toes pointing out towards the outer edges of your mat. Take the arms up, inhale, exhale, lower down. Again, just come as low as feels comfortable. Inhale, coming up, send the hips forward, squeeze the glutes, exhale, lower down. Inhale, coming up. Exhale to lower. Inhale, moving up. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 4 more, I think. Inhale. I've lost count. Exhale. And those who know me, inhale. No, I lose my count quite a lot. Exhale. Great when you're an Ashtanga teacher. Inhale. Exhale. And let's stay down. I was talking, I lost my count again. Let's stay down, it's fine. That Malasana. And again, finding comfort wherever feels good. Option 1 is just to stay here. Maybe you want to continue moving here into those hips. Otherwise, take the arms up. Sink in those hips nice and low. Let's send the weight to the outer edges of the feet and let's lift up slightly. So finding strength through your glutes, squeeze legs, and exhale, lower down. Inhale. Exhale. Squeeze the glutes, lift up slightly, find that strength. Press the weight to the outer edges of the feet. Exhale, lower. Let's do one more. Inhale, lift up. Shift the weight to the outer edges, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Engage glutes, engage legs, hold it, and exhale, lowering down. Good, have a rest. We'll take the hands forward, and let's step that right foot back now. Again, that left foot is still more towards the outer edge of that mat. Deep breaths. Squeeze that right glute. Find strength through that right leg. People say, Karina, I have no strength left. My legs are done. What are you doing to us? Hold it or drop that knee if it's all too much. And again, we can come on to our elbows if we're going well. Keep sending the heart forward. Breathe. Think of sending the heart and the right heel as far away from each other as you can. And let's drop that foot out, the knee out, so we're dropping onto the outside of that left foot. Stay with it if you can. Stay in a couple more breaths. And coming back onto the hands, if you drop to the elbows, let's heel toe that left foot in. So it's in line with your left hip. And we're still in that lunge position. Send those hips nice and low. And coming up. Again, hands can come to the waist here. Just working the strength through that left leg, through that right leg, pressing back through that right heel. Option to take the arms up. Breathe. Inhaling, exhale, lower hands to the mat. And step the left foot back to meet the right. Find that downward dog. Let's send the right leg towards the ceiling. Find your three-legged dog. As always, in our three-legged dog, the toes are pointed down. We're pressing back through that right heel and pressing back through that left thigh. So we really want to feel the work happening in the back of this left leg. Remember, it's not about getting the foot to the ceiling here. Now we can bend that right knee, heel towards the buttock, and let's open that right hip up. So shoot that knee towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, close the hip. And bring that right knee through, round the spine. Drop that right foot between the hands. If you can. Again, if it doesn't quite make it, just drag it forward. Let's drop that back heel. And let's come up into our warrior two. Option to bring hands to the hips. Probably a lot of you have taken that option. Have a little bit of a rest. Just working into the hips. Remember, it's a hip focus flow. Not to an arm strength one at a time. Let's just focus into our hips. We're really trying to lift the inner arch of that back foot. So we're driving the weight into the heel, into the outside of that back foot. Let's see if we can drive into that right heel a little bit more. Really working the strength in this right leg. Let's see if we can tuck tailbone under a little bit more here. So think of pulling the pubic bone up towards the ribs. Soft shoulders. I only said that because I felt mine tensing up a little bit there. Straighten that right leg. Let's take the arms up now. Inhale. As we exhale, let's lean forward, hips move back, and let's find our Trikonasana. So right hand can come onto the shin. We can use the block. We can bring hand to the inside of that leg. We can bring hand onto the mat. Take the big toe if you wish. If you find that chest is collapsing forward, maybe bring that left hand behind the back and just work on opening that chest up to the long side of the mat. Think heart forward and up, and really focus on feeling this through the legs, through the hips. Let's bend into that right knee a little bit. And we're going to pivot on that right heel, turn the foot in. Let's bring the hands onto the mat. Let's turn the feet out again slightly. Maybe able to keep them parallel with each other. We'll see how we go. Take an inhale. And as we exhale, let's bend into that left knee. Let's work the inside of that right leg. Inhale to come back through center. Exhale, over to the other side. Inhale through center. Exhale. I like to press my arm, my elbow into the inside of the knee. I feel that helps to open up my legs, my hips here a little bit. Again, find what feels good for you. Keep dropping those hips nice and low. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. And let's walk those hands back towards the top of the mat. Pivot on the toes and the heels. Plant the hands, and we'll send that right foot back to meet the left. Find your downward dog again. And let's come straight into the left side. Straighten the left leg towards the ceiling. And again, that heel is pointing high. The toes are pointing down. The hip isn't open at this point. We're just pressing back through that right thigh. Opening the back of that right leg. Now let's bend that left knee, heel to the buttock, and open that knee up. Keep drawing that chest down. So we're not lifting, we're not opening so much here through the chest. Inhale. Exhale, close the knee. Bring that knee through, round the spine, find that compression, and drop that left foot between the hands if it's available. Drop that back heel to the mat. And inhale as we come up into that warrior two, left side. Again, we can drop hands to the hips here. Just focusing on our hips. And again, just checking the inner inside of the foot is lifting, the inner arch, and we're sending the weight to the outside of the foot here. If you allow that foot to collapse, it's going to start to close that hip. That right hip is going to drop. So really try to peel that hip open by keeping that connection to the outside of the foot. And again, let's see if we can drop into that left heel a little bit more. Really work that strength. Keep that breath going. Inhale, straighten that left leg. Arms come up, inhale. Exhale, diving forward, hips move back, and finding that Trikonasana. Again, hand can be shin, inside of leg, to a block, to the mat. And again, if you find that that chest is falling towards the mat, bring the right hand around onto the back and work on taking that right shoulder back. Finding length through your spine. And checking that we're not collapsing through the chest. Stay in one more breath here. And exhale, let's bend into that left knee. Pivot on that left heel, turn that foot in, and back in a wide-legged position. This time I'm going to have the toes in slightly, the heels out. Inhale, let's lengthen through the spine. And exhale, coming into a forward fold. So if you're really tight in the hamstrings, maybe you're going to put a little bend in the knees here and just work on bringing that crown of the head down as you move the hands back. If you're a little bit open, more open in your hamstrings, maybe you're going to take the big toes here. Lengthening through your spine and pulling on your big toes as we draw that crown of the head down. As always in any forward fold, and we're tipping the weight forward slightly into the balls of the feet. Lifting the sit bones nice and high. Staying here 2 more breaths. Breathe deep. Half inversion. And inhale. Bring the hands back to the mat. Lengthen through your spine. Just lift the head above the heart. And exhale. Let's walk the hands back around to the top of the mat, framing that left foot. And let's send that left foot back to meet the right, finding your downward facing dog again. And look in between your hands. Inhale, walking or jumping feet to hands. Extend through your spine. And exhale, fold. Inhale, ground down through the feet, coming all the way up. Reach in, palms can touch if you wish, or just find that extension through your spine. And exhale, release. So a little bit of balance now with that hip mobility still continuing. A little bit challenging. So we did something similar when we were in our tabletop position. It's that exact same kind of motion. Taking the leg out, bringing it back around, pulling it in. So tops of our mats, again, just do what you can. I'm going to try 5 rounds each side. Tops of our mats, feet together. So first stage is you might need a block. Grab a block. If you are really tight in the hips, just put it at the top of your mat. So inhale, lifting that right leg up. So again, this is hip strength. Being able to lift that right knee up. And also we're working on our balance here. Take an inhale and exhale. We'll set up for the next move. So sending that right foot back as if we were coming into kind of a warrior 3 position. And then you're just going to take your hands onto your block or onto your mat here. And again, just checking that the right hip isn't open here. Drop that right hip down. Press back through that left leg. Good. Take an inhale. As we exhale, let's turn the foot out and swing that right leg around. You haven't got space, bend the knee. Inhale, taking it back. The toes point down. Exhale, round the spine, bring it in towards the chin. Inhale, send that right leg back. Turn the foot out. Exhale, swing that leg around. Inhale, take it back. Toes point down. Exhale, bring it in. That's 2, 3 more. Inhale. Turn the foot out. Open the hip. Exhale, swing that leg around. Inhale, take it back. Toes point down. Exhale, round. Bring the knee in. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, take it wide. Inhale, take it back. Toes point down. Exhale, bring it in. Last one. Keep it going if you can. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, taking it back. Exhale, rounding the spine. Bring it in. Let's ground through that left foot. Finding our balance. Oh, if we've got a little bit more left in that left hip. Coming up. Again, finding that balance if it's available. Seeing if you can straighten that right foot. And then bend the right knee and plant the foot down. Phew-wee. Other side. Here we go. Have a breather. Have a little shake in the hips if you wish. Just shaking it out. Maybe you felt more going on in that left hip, that left glute really firing up through that exercise rather than the right hip. Other side. Inhale. Let's bring that left knee up. And draw the tailbone under. Find that compression strength. Pulling that left thigh in. Find that balance. Inhale. And exhale. Sending it back. And again, we're finding that kind of warrior 3 variation using a block or hands to the mat. Okay, this side, are we ready? Inhale, turn the foot out. Exhale, swing the leg around. Inhale, move the leg back, toes point down. Exhale, bring the knee around the spine. Inhale, send it back, toes point out. Exhale, swing it around. Again, knees can be bent if you don't have space or if it's too much. Inhale, send it back, toes point down. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, send it back, toes point out. Exhale, swing. Inhale, send it back, toes point down. Exhale, bit of coordination needed as well. Inhale, back, toes point out. Exhale. Inhale, take it back, toes point down. Exhale. Last one. Inhale, toes point out. Exhale, swing it around. Inhale, take it back, toes point down. Exhale, round the spine, bring it in. Find that balance in that right foot and making your way up. Good. Finding that compression. Draw that tailbone down. Pull the hip bones up. And if it's available, straightening that left leg. And bend the left knee. Release. Good stuff. Give the hips a shake. Shake it all out. Almost done. We're going to make our way down to seated. I never finish on time on these online classes. I hope you've noticed. And when we're ready, inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, finding your high plank. Inhale there. And exhale, lower down. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Come into sit. If you're practicing jumping forward, you can practice that now, or just drop knees. Swing those legs around and make your way to seated. Good stuff. And as always, try not to drink water if you can. You're going to take the legs wide. So don't use a block. You would normally use a block if you're really tight in the hips, tight in the backs of the legs here, but I don't want you to use a block just for today. We're going to get those legs nice and wide. As always, we're going to try to engage the legs. Legs are nice and strong. Taking the hands. As I've done this, a lot of you at home are going, oh, I know what's coming now. Taking the hands either side of that right leg. We're going to try to lift this right leg up. Again, it's going to build the strength in the hip flexors, strength in the quadriceps. We're going to try not to round into the back as much as we can. The closer the hands are to the hips, the easier it's going to be. The further the hands are away, the more difficult it's going to be. So just find where it feels good for you as we come through this. We're going to try 5 on the right side. It'll be good. Good. Inhale, lift the leg up. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Can you hold? 2 breaths. 1 breath. And exhale, lowering down. Oof. Now, if the leg didn't lift at all, if you're like, gah, gah, it doesn't matter. It's the intention. It's the intention. We'll get there eventually. Left side. So frame that left leg with the hands, and again, just find where it feels good for you. And when we're ready, nice and tall through your spine, twist towards that left foot, and inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. It doesn't matter how high. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Last one, I think. Inhale. And hold. For 2, 1, exhale. Stay in that wide-legged position. Now, if you are quite tight in the hips, you can sit on a block. If you wish, we're going to start to move forward. But we're going to try to keep the chest nice and open. Try to keep those legs nice and strong, the glutes engaged. Inhale, find length. And exhale, fold forward. Take the arms back. think of getting the heart forward. Heart, or pick a point in front and think of your chin moving towards that point in front rather than rounded through the spine. Keep the integrity of the upper back. And I like putting my hands back if I can, just because it keeps that strength. Really trying to pull my elbows towards each other as I move forward. And we're going to hold, press the feet, the heels, the legs into the mat. Few more breaths. Keep moving with the breath if you can. Inhale, find a little bit more length. Reach that heart, that chin forward. Exhale, press a little bit deeper if you can. One more breath. Inhale, coming back up. And exhale. Let's bring the feet together. Hands either side of the body. So we're going to do something similar, but with the legs together now. One leg at a time. Right leg first. Hands either side of the thighs. Again, further back is easier, further forward is a little bit harder. And when we're ready, inhale to lift. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to lift. Keep grounding through the seats. Exhale down. Try to keep the back long. Inhale. Exhale. It doesn't matter if it's tiny movement. Inhale. If you're going, it's okay. Exhale, lower down. Last one. Inhale. And hold. For 2. Point the toe. And 1. Exhale, lower down. Good stuff. Let's do the left side. Oh, almost over. Almost in Shavasana now. And when we're ready, inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Then we're holding the last one. If you can, inhale, lift and hold. Hold for 3. For 2, point the toe. And 1, exhale, release. Good stuff. Let's bring soles of the feet together. Take an inhale and exhale. Let's round. Let everything go. Collapse the chest. You can take the hands forward if you wish, so there's no pressing, there's no forcing here. We're just allowing the body to be. And just breathe. Soften. And just check the jaw hasn't tensed up here. Nice and relaxed. Can you allow yourself to soften even more? Let go in the neck. Let go in the shoulders. Lifting the gaze. Let's just swing that left leg around, making our way into pigeon or pigeon variation on the right side. Our variation, as always, is the swan pose. So the knees close and the heel is towards that left groin. I want you to really try to pull that left hip down. I want the leg nice and long, the heel in line with the hip. If you're going well here, start to move that right foot forward to come more into a pigeon position. The right knee shifts towards the outside and the right foot moves forward. As always, use as many bolsters, blocks underneath that right hip as you need to. And flex that right ankle. Really important again in this posture. If the knee is open, flex the ankle to provide some support. Let's drop that left hip down. Option to stay here. You can work into your pigeon from here. In this kind of position, it works more into the left hip, I find. Or if you just want to rest, making your way down onto your elbows. You can rest here, hands on thumbs, or come all the way down to the mat. and just let go completely. All the hard work is done. Just releasing those glutes. Again, just check that jaw. I always use my jaw as a little gauge to see if I'm going a little bit too hard. If that jaw starts to tense up, I back off. I find that peace. And again, how we are in our yoga practice can tell us so much about how we are in our daily lives. I push too much sometimes in my practice, and I do certainly push too much. I judge myself probably too much in my my daily life as well. So it's always good to notice these things. Are you hard on yourself? Do you need to give yourself a break sometimes? And can you allow that right hip to sink back? Really allow that opening in those external rotators. And coming back onto those hands. Let's swing that left leg around. And we'll switch sides. The right leg comes back. And again, we're finding swan. If you want on this side with that knee totally closed, really nice and safe for that knee. Using blocks underneath that left thigh if you need to. Let's work on pulling that right hip down. Again, check in with the foot. The back foot is in line with the hip. And again, if you're going well, just start to move that left knee out towards the outside of the mat. Wiggle that left foot forward and find more of that pigeon position on this side. And again, if you want to work more into that right hip, stay on the hands. Be here. If you want to relax completely, just coming on to the elbows. Maybe stacking the hands. Soften the shoulders. And again, check that jaw for tension. Making sure that left ankle is flexed again. The toes are pulling back towards that shin if you're taking it more into a pigeon position. And if you're on your elbows, maybe walking those elbows forward a little bit more. Really finding length through that spine. And again, just allowing yourself to sink back through that left hip. Use the breath. I know it can be quite intense, this posture. Use the breath to keep you present. Let go. Stay here a couple more breaths. If you feel good to stay here. And coming back onto the hands. We'll swing that right leg around now. Bring the bum into the center of the mat. All done. It's time for our Shavasana. Take the heels wide as your mat. Come to lie down. And take up space with your arms, palms facing up. It's a sign of complete surrender. Shoulder blades under the back. Shoulders away from the ears. Chin tucked slightly, back of the neck long. Eyes closed. Just allow your feet to fall out to the side. And just releasing your Ujjayi breath. As you release, just feel your back melt into your mat. Just check there's no tension in the jaw. Maybe give the jaw a wiggle. Just allow yourself stillness. Just notice any sensations in your body right now. Maybe you feel the buzzing of energy as you've woken up every single cell in your body. Maybe you can feel your heartbeat and the blood pulsing through the body. And bring in prana, life force, and breath to every part of your being. Just keep scanning your body. Just noticing the hands. Are you feeling warm? Are you feeling a cold breeze around the fingers? Notice the feet. Again, are they warm? Or can you feel cold wind around the feet? Notice the shoulders. Are they as relaxed as they can be? Or are you holding on a little bit in those shoulders? Can you allow them to be totally supported by the mat? Notice the heaviness of the legs and the arms. Notice the head, the back of the head as it presses into the mat. Notice the body in its entirety. This is your body. Acknowledge your body right now. This amazing thing. The wonder of evolution is so special. What the body allows us to do. Just showing some gratitude for your body right now. everything it is, with all its flaws. All those flaws are in your mind, all created by our experiences, by society. It's a miraculous being. It deserves to be appreciated as it is right now. And let's bring our focus to our breath. With our breath, there is no awareness of body. Without body, there can be no breath. Just really feel that breath as it moves in your body. And let's take a deep inhale now. Exhale the breath, completely connect the navel to the spine. Inhale the breath into your heart space. Exhale the breath into the fingertips, the toes, and start to wiggle those fingers and toes. And as you bring movement back to your body, and bringing life back to your being. Maybe extending the fingers, clenching the hands into fists, maybe rotating the ankles and the wrists. Start to move the limbs. And let's bring the feet, the legs together and take the arms overhead for a full body stretch. Finding that full extension through your spine. And let's draw the knees into the chest, give ourselves a squeeze. Saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, body, for doing what you did this evening. Thank you for being healthy, for being able. And let's rock to our right hand side. Let's blinking the eyes open. And let's find our way back to a comfortable seated cross-legged position. Hopefully with a little bit more open hips. We'll bring our hands into Anjali Mudra at our heart center. Let's finish with the sacred sound Om and 3 Shantis. Peace, peace, perfect peace. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale for Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hare Om. Raising our hands to our heads for kindness in our thoughts, to ourselves and to each other, to our hearts for kindness in our actions, and to our lips for kindness in our words. From my heart to your heart, always. Namaste. And thank you so much for joining me for this nice little hip opening, hip mobility flow. Hopefully you feel a little bit of strength in those hips, a little bit more opening in the hips. Maybe you'll feel a little bit achy tomorrow if you're not used to working into the glutes so much and into the hips. As always, it's completely normal. I hope you feel a little bit more rested in your body, especially if you've been working from home and you've been sitting a lot on awkward settees and chairs, and yeah, not great for the hips, not great for the spine. So hopefully this is a nice little rest, little break for you. I will be joining you again tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock. As always, like the video if you liked the flow. Please like the video. It helps with YouTube algorithms, gets me a little bit more noticed out there. What else is there? That's it, I think. Oh, yeah, donating. If you want to donate, as always, you can donate to paypal.me/raw yoga. As always, I'll add the link in the description after the video has been uploaded as a video to my channel. And that's Sally coming through. It is Sally. Lovely start to the week. Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Sally. Thank you. And Mighty Joe with love in his eyes or her eyes. Oh, is that Joe? Oh, wonderful. Eyes. Thank you for joining me, Joe. Thank you for joining me, Sally, and everyone else who has joined me this evening and is going to join me at other times. As always, this will be available when I've pressed end on this stream. We'll go to, oh, thank you, Andrew. Wonderful. That's that little emoji. I can't tell what that emoji is. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the practice. Yeah, it can be a little bit strong. The practices that I do, I like to challenge you. I always say this. I like to challenge you a little bit, but yeah, hopefully you kept that meditation going. You kept that presence and found that peace within. I will stop rambling. I can smell my dinner is ready. My other half has got my dinner ready, so that's wonderful. So I'm going to go and have my dinner right now, and I shall see some of you virtually tomorrow. As always, stay safe, and yeah, love to you all. Thank you for joining me, as always.